In the top stories, Ecuadorian UWI students seek local help after 7.8 magnitude quake devastates their homeland. The Attorney General says there's no need to revise the Bail Act, and BDFSP are out of the Banks Bear Champions Cup. Welcome to Nation News from Monday, April 18th, 2016. I'm Natasha Beckles. Ecuadorian students studying at UWI Cave Hill are appealing to Barbadians for help following Saturday's devastating earthquake in that South American country. Hundreds of people were killed and thousands injured in the 7.8 magnitude quake, and others are still missing. The 50 students are studying English as a second language, and one of them, Eduardo Zamora, said some have not been able to contact their families since the disaster struck.
They don't have some supplies, they don't have food, they don't have medicines, so there are many people that I think that they are underground trying to survive, because as my partner here said, that there are 2,000 people missing. There are 2,000 people injured, so that's a really difficult situation for me. Being so far from home and trying to be strong to support my family just by heart, because I can do anything being far from there.
They will be hosting a series of events aimed at raising funds and collecting basic supplies. Administrative coordinator of the ESL program, Sonia Johnson, said the students only had 2 more months left in their 7-month program.
They're really into the most intense part of the course right now. So for something like this to happen at a time like this, you can understand how devastating it is for them and how emotional they are and have been. So the university is looking to see how we can support them in, first of all, coping with this difficult situation, being so far away from home.
Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite has rejected the idea that the Bail Act should be amended so murder accused cannot get bail at the High Court. Instead, he says the court process must be sped up. Mr. Brathwaite told a meeting of the Democratic Labour Party's St. James South branch that legislation was in the draft stages to achieve this goal. The Attorney General suggested that there was a need for more judges.
Number of civil and criminal cases that we have filed at the High Court from time to time over the last couple of years have been increasing. And it has, well, I am asking myself a question, and I think I know the answer, whether or not we don't need some additional judges at this point in time to assist us, not in terms of the backlog, but assist us going forward because of just the sheer number. In that regard, you know, Barbadians still have this thing that they must have their day in court. We are trying to move to a situation where we use arbitration and mediation more, so that only the most serious of matters are heard in the courts.
Meantime, St. James South MP Donville Innes says the opposition Barbados Labour Party's no confidence motion will be treated seriously in Parliament. He told the meeting such matters are always considered urgent.
When you have a matter of no confidence in the government of the day and the Parliament must treat it as a matter of urgency. And for the 8 years that I've been in Parliament, we've had these motions come up. The government has always treated them with urgency. It would be foolhardy for us to be so dismissive of such a motion that you just deliberately frustrate the process to get it heard at a later date. It's not just an ordinary parliamentary question. So I have no reasons to believe that the government will not wish to have this matter dispensed with.
The House of Assembly will return from recess on Tuesday. Prime Minister Frundell Stewart says he's not getting involved in the debate about whether Busso really led the 1816 revolt. However, he is encouraging more discussion on the issue as Barbados celebrates its 50th anniversary of independence. Speaking at Golden Grove Plantation over the weekend, he told patrons attending the stage production from Bussa to Barrow and beyond to pay attention to the debate.
I urge you not to ignore the debate that continues to rage over whether Bussa in fact led the rebellion or whether it was led by Joseph Pitt Washington Franklin, or whether they both led it together. Because these debates are important, not from a historical point of view only, but because they have a contemporary echo. They are not debates really about the past, they're debates about the present. Because depending on how those debates are settled, other issues related to how power should be distributed and who should have the right to distribute it are resolved in the present.
2 men charged in connection with Friday's seizure of more than $2 million in cannabis off Carlisle Bay have been remanded to prison until May 13th. They are 36-year-old Glenn Leroy Carter of Odessa McLean Road, Mylars Hill, St. Michael, and Oswald O'Brien Pitt, 33, of Pinders Gap, Howells Cross Road in the same parish. They appeared in court on Monday, charged with possession of cannabis, possession with intent to supply, trafficking, and importation. Principal of Corridon Parish School, Vincent Ferguson, would like to see the establishment of a sixth form college in the north of the island. He made the suggestion during a recent interview with Nation News, in which he said he was not sure there should be a sixth form at the school which he heads. Former principal of the school, Senator Alwyn Adams, has called for a sixth form, but Mr. Ferguson says such a move could compound already existing problems with discipline, funding, and space. However, he said the northern sixth form college would prevent students from that part of the country from having to travel to the Barbados Community College. Mr. Ferguson said the school will also allow children to remain children while catering to their total development.
Yeah, I want to see courses in leadership. I want a greater emphasis on sport and activity. I think too many of our schools, as students get older, they tend to downsize physical activity, sports and so on. I would like to see programs where sports administration, actually playing of sports, and the importance of West Indians, with cricket to West Indians, an opportunity to play football, study footballers and baseballers and see how they earn and live and what they do after they exit the sports, so that the society is wiser on a wider spectrum of activity rather than just honing in on the traditional discrete sciences and mathematics.
Parents of children in the pediatric ward of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital now have a more comfortable lounge in which to wait, thanks to Unicoma Barbados, which trades as Quartz. Quartz Managing Director Tricia Tanis said the room was redecorated and furnished as part of the company's outreach program. Head of Pediatrics, Dr. Clyde Cave, said such assistance is always welcomed. Mothers from across Barbados will be honored once again this year at the Mum This Once for You show. Speaking at the press launch of the May 8th event recently, producer and director of DCW Promotions, Desmond Fowle Weeks, said about 14 women will be highlighted this year. He said not all of them gave birth, but all served as role models. In sport, defending champions BDFSP were sent crashing out of the Banks Bear Champions Cup on Sunday night by Rendezvous FC. It was a lone strike from Romano Snag, and keeper Dario Weir could only watch as it scored. Rendezvous have been inconsistent all season, but came up big when it mattered, soaking up the pressure in the dying minutes to hold on for the win. They will play Britain's Hill, who eliminated Paradise through a Mustafa Hack goal. In Saturday's matches, Weymouth Wales held on for the 6-4 win over Pinelands, who clawed back from 5-1 down at half-time. UWI Blackbirds beat Notre Dame 4-2 in the other match. Barbados goal shooter Shanika Wharton showed off her range and accuracy over the weekend as UWI Blackbirds A team rolled over the B side 58-31 in Division 1 netball. Taking an impressive 60 attempts during the match, Wharton converted 52 shots for an 86% accuracy rating. Blackbirds, who have already won the senior knockout title, sounded a clear warning as Shanice Wharton and Shanice Rock clamped down in defense. Rhea Bryant led Blackbirds B with 14 goals. And finally, imagine receiving an email saying you have been accepted into a university, then getting another one hours later saying it was an error. This is what happened to more than 5,000 prospective students at New York's University of Buffalo. Spokesman John Della Contrada says the mistaken email was sent to students whose applications had not been fully reviewed. The university later sent a second email apologizing for the mistake and issued a statement saying students who received the email are still being considered for acceptance. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.